So we're rolling?
Yeah, we'll just cut this out. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't matter. So whenever you're ready.
No, I feel like this should go in. We're keeping it in. I'm jacked to the tits. I'm back. Let's keep it in. Let's go.
Someone watched The Big Short yesterday.
I'm jacked. I'm jacked to the tits!
I did watch The Big Short. Welcome back, everyone,
I just realised I've jumped in front of the camera. I haven't done my hair. Wearing a singlet. I'm like, first podcast back. I look bushwhacked. What are you going to do about it?
Guys,
we're starting now.
We're back. Welcome back to another episode, to the first episode of 2021.
It's been a month.
It has been just over a month, but we are back. Anything goes. It is so nice every time I sit in this spot opposite you. And
it's even nicer now, isn't it?
Oh, wow.
So we got aircon.
Yeah, we've got aircon, people. We have aircon.
It's kind of embarrassing. As we were heading into summer, it was embarrassing we had guests come over.
Well, we just stopped having guests at the house.
Because it was so hot.
Yeah. Brett Campbell, you were the last guest. And we were like, bro, we're sorry.
Yeah.
It's hot.
Can't be helped.
But here we are. We are back. We are fresh. We are ready. We are hungry. We are excited.
We are cool.
We are cool. Cool whip. And we're pumped because we have a huge commitment to the podcast for 2021. I have been bombarded. I'm typically the one that gets the
don't come to me with your problems.
DMs.
if you're listening and you follow Anna's Instagram, don't come to me.
Can everyone go to Morgan and just pepper him with no? So I've had so many messages.
Did you just be disappointed?
Yeah, very true. Very true. But I've had so many messages saying, when are you back? When are you guys back? And we are back now. So we didn't want to just come back without being fully ready and committed to what we want to commit to, which is 2 episodes a week.
Yeah.
And it's either going to be
us,
two of us. Like some weeks we're going to want to just be us together. And then when we align with a guest that we really want on, we're going to bring in a guest as well. So you will probably get an interview a week or every other week and then us twice a week. So it's good to be back on the mic though.
And can we just talk as well, if you're watching on the third camera, you'll be able to see the big screen with the big picture. It probably looks like rolling shutter, but that's all part of we're just starting now. We're going to do more video stuff this year. I'm really excited to really step up the video production side of things, and that includes rearranging this and making it actually look decent.
Morgsy's on a tear.
I was setting all this up before, and I was getting so frustrated because I've been consuming YouTube videos on video production and all that sort of stuff, and then I come here to set up one, and it's like I'm just raging. I was just raging, trying to make it all happen. So obviously that's something that I really want to do with Anything Goes moving forward this year, is actually get the video stuff happening and actually make it
and be committed.
But it's not that I'm not committed. I stopped.
No, but we aren't committed because we said that we were going to do YouTubes for every single podcast, and we haven't.
Yeah,
and now,
I stopped because I got frustrated because I have a vision for what I want it to look like, and I got sick of it looking like dog shit.
There's the therapist couch behind you.
Yeah, that's going.
Yeah, apparently that's going. I'm not stoked about it. But anyway, so 2 episodes a week. We're really excited. But to kick things off, we wanted to talk to everyone about, obviously, fresh year, new year, new you.
Yeah.
New year, same you, maybe.
We kind of ended on this one last year as well about year in review and what did you accomplish, what did you want to...
Yeah, it was more like we tied the year in a bow.
Yeah.
And now we want to come back with our first episode to be like, what is your mission for 2021? This is something that Morgs and I have been talking a lot about. And he was just in my office on my other therapy couch, laying down. And I said, we were talking about it again. I said, this is my mission, who do I need to become to bring that mission to life? And I these are my values and this is my highest priority. And Morgs was like, get on the mic. This is what we're going to talk about for everyone. So here we are. So you go.
Yeah. So I know in that last podcast I talked a lot about my goal for running this year, and this is the thing. Things happen, right? You set goals, and then this year I've started running, and I've gotten worse. I've literally gotten worse. I think it's the heat. I don't know, but I've literally been breaking down on short runs. I don't know.
I haven't, team.
No, Anna's been great. She's been yelling at me, getting frustrated because usually I'm
like, you're a weak piece of shit.
Basically, I know. But
we're laughing, but it's
and it's just, I suppose that's how it goes sometimes. Is you set these intentions and the things you want to accomplish, and then you start to go after them, and you actually regress and get worse. So I'm just trying to keep it going, right? Because I just know if I keep with it, I'll recover. I just think I had too much fun over Christmas, and I'm unfit.
It was the 9 days on the island.
Yeah, and the weekend.
But then I swam, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah. So starting there, please know, obviously, if you're listening to this currently, so as in February 2021, obviously it's current for you. If you're years down the track, still put a pin in it. But just know if you're starting a new year or you ever have a goal and you do kick it off and you are feeling like, oh my God, not only did I have this goal and have a base level of whatever, fitness, income, passion, skill, and you've regressed, it's okay.
Yeah.
That's life. But the trick is to not stop. So where I want to go with this then, so you've got this big goal. So your mission is really fitness-based this year, I feel.
Really fitness-based. And obviously with what we're doing here and the other goals that we have, a lot of that is actually going to be really taking, I'm really into video and video production at the moment. And I just, that's an outlet I definitely want to pursue more of. And that where I'm going to use that is here in the podcast and taking the video stuff to the next level.
You should vlog.
I don't, do you know what? Like, vlogging's annoying because you just always got a camera out. You're always having to film and record everything in case you miss everything. Editing's a nightmare. The equipment is like, I like the equipment. I like to have the equipment. You can do it with that, but it's like you got to always be doing something, and you got to be doing them all the time.
Baby, you got time.
Yeah, I know, but this is kind of like.
Okay, all right.
Well, we don't,
so you get to see us. So if I'm looking to the cameras now, this is how you'll get to see us. Look at this one. And then this one. This is how you'll get to see us.
Don't look at that one because that's looking at me. All right.
So if you're like listening in the car, you're like, oh my God, I actually want to watch them banter.
Yeah.
You can
find us on YouTube.
You can watch me give Morgan death stares when you'll see my body kind of move because
you've been talking for 30 seconds. That's far too much. We can't have that.
All right, so missions. This is a big thing for me in 2021. So last year, yes, we wrapped it in a bow. We did all of our intentions and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And although I had done one post, I think, on this, and not for years have I actually sat and written goals. If you follow me for any amount of time, you know that for the last 10 years, I've focused on a feeling.
Yeah.
So I've always had a word. So I've wanted to 2020, it was all about growth. So my word was growth. I picked it in December. I sit with it, marinate on it, choose it, live into it. And then the question I ask myself in every way is, to feel growth, what do I need to do?
I remember this because I had put sexual innuendo in there.
Oh, I was like,
growth, that's right.
Oh my God. So, well, you can again. So then for 2021, I didn't really have a word. I wasn't really focused on it in a sense. I just always follow what feels good, right? Yeah. That's just like my thing. I follow what feels good. And so it wasn't that it felt bad. I just wasn't feeling inspired to sit and pick a word. And then it kind of kicked, 2021 started and I was like, I just want more and better. This is what I kept saying to Morgs. I just want more. I'm here for more now. I'm here for more. More and better, more money, better sex, more this, better that, I'm on, right? I'm turned on by life. So they were then the words, but we then sat together and absolutely actually wrote some goals.
Yeah.
Which we've never done together.
I think we have once or twice.
When?
I don't know. Probably some in the early days of our network marketing business. Try to get me to do a vision board and I was like,
nah, bro. There's no way that you would have sat with me and done goals. Or we would go to events. I just gave up on Morgs. We'd go to events and we still do. Well, not in 18 months or whatever, but we'd sit next to each other and you'd start the day really strong with a notebook out and you'd fill 3 lines.
Yeah.
And then just shut it.
I'd do a page or two and then be like, you know what? But here's the thing with events, right? It's I genuinely believe that you could run an event for 5 minutes instead of 5 days, because what people's biggest takeaways are always in the first 5 minutes.
Well, it's always the first 5 minutes and the last 5 minutes, really.
Pretty much.
Yeah. All right,
so one run for 10 minutes. There's your first 5 and your last 5. Done.
Done.
All right, I just saved everybody a fortune.
Yeah, legend. That could be our new marketing plan. Yeah. So, but we sat together, and ultimately, what I nutted everything down to was that my biggest goal for this year, is actually an income amount.
Yeah.
So I'm on a tear to I have a goal, and again, I have not set an income goal. I honestly don't think ever. Yeah. If I'm being completely honest. I actually, honestly, at least I cannot recall a year in the last, say, 8, definitely not in my network marketing days, have I actually set a goal and said, this is the number that I want to go for. Yeah. But I have this year. And obviously I have a lot of other goals just in terms of fitness and health and family and all the things. But when I look at 2021 and what I want to achieve, but more than that, who I want to become, I zeroed in on that.
Yeah.
That's going to be like the one thing that I focus on, because everything else, okay? So for me, when I look at then, so for you, I know it's running and video. Yeah. So business, so your business goal is like video.
Yeah.
Becoming kick-ass at it and being consistent. And then I know your health one is fitness.
Yeah.
So my business is, so my goal, by the way, is to double our income. So my goal for 2021 is to double our income.
Yeah.
And then for fitness, it's to do the half Ironman.
Yeah.
So, however, when I look at all of that, for me, who I need to become to double our income, the discipline that I need to have, the strategies and systems in place, the procedures, the effort, the fun still, it's always got to be fun for me. I have to follow what feels good. To bring that money in and to become the person that can hold that amount as well, everything else will follow.
Yeah.
That's what I believe. Like discipline for that kind of income flows into discipline for health. Health is always my number one value. So this is kind of the theory. Like this is why we wanted to have this discussion with you listening to the podcast or watching on YouTube. Who do you have to become to achieve your one goal this year? Like what's the one thing, if you really sat down, and maybe you haven't even written goals yet, which is so perfect as well. But if this has inspired you and you're like, actually, do you know what? I haven't sat and written goals in such a long time and I do want to. Get them all out. Like look at relationships, health, business, income, travel, because we still come within our own states and things like that. And then, but what's the mission? Right? So look at all of those goals. And then if you had to pick one, I'm asking you to pick one and make that your mission. So non-negotiable, no matter what, I will. And I know for you, your biggest one is
fitness.
It's run half a marathon.
Yeah.
But then you have to think about who do you have to become to do that.
Yeah.
The discipline you have to have, the mental toughness that, you know, when you're like, I'm tired on the run and I'm like.
Hey, can I just like, some days when we're running, it's the heat. I'm like dehydrated and dying. In winter, running all day, not a problem.
All I hear is excuses.
It's not excuses. You're there. You bore witness to it.
Yeah, right? I take off.
You know, I seem to remember it was me dragging you to 15Ks, not the other way around, right? And now I'm struggling. It's all like, hurry the fuck up.
It's in your mind. You're weak.
No, it's different for you. You're training for a half Ironman, so I get that.
Yeah. I'm leaving you behind. I have to keep going.
I'm like, go on without me. It's fine.
Yeah. I have tried though. All right. But that's the big thing. So that's going to be your mission, but you have to think about that, right? So the whole point is, what's going to be your mission for 2021? Pick one. And this is what I love about this. The difference between a goal is a want and a desire, right? It would be nice if you know, like that's a goal. Like we've all got goals. We've always had goals. But to me, that mission, that like, no matter what, I will until. Yeah. Like I will not stop until, in your own aligned, perfect way. Like I'm known for scheduling and discipline and rah, rah, rah. If that doesn't feel good for you, then I'm never saying do that. I'm saying follow what feels good within your own mission and mission statement for life, essentially. But for me, I know to double our income and at the same time do the half Ironman and everything. It's who I become in the process, following that mission, not stopping until that I will be most proud of and excited by. Not necessarily the goal attainment. And then within the parameters of that, I get excited because I'm like, it's all more and better for me. Like to hit that goal, I need to be better. I need to be more. I need to do more. I need to have more. So it's just this perfect, poetic synchronicity of everything coming together for me.
Yeah, well, I just know for me as well, I know I'm actually capable of doing it. Mm-hmm. So it's just obviously being committed and relentless in the pursuit of it, getting there. Which I suppose I've been you know, on some of the runs especially as well, I've been missing some of that. But it has been tough. I'm not lying. I'm not a pussy. I'm like, it's been tough. Even you've stopped for a couple of drinks of water and like just checked your watch so don't get too
at the 10K mark. Yeah.
No,
fair.
But again, it's that's the thing, right? It's like everybody has goals, and then sort of life gets in the way, right? Like, so I'm sure people in Perth right now have goals, right? Probably had a goal to do all this awesome shit. Bang, 5-day lockdown. Thanks for coming, right? Chaos at the supermarkets.
Chaos. Absolute chaos. I'll do a whole podcast on this, I think.
But it's just that's the way that life goes, right? Is that, you know, sometimes it's funny, right? So the lockdown's a great one, right? Because that's also ultimately what inspired me to get into running. So you might see it as something really negative and really terrible, but it might be something that actually is the catalyst for change.
So powerful. Let's go there, because this is the biggest thing. So I've obviously kicked off again on my Instagram stories about Perth.
You're always kicking off.
About something. Yes, I did kick off about Perth.
I love it, but it's like, I think sometimes you think, oh, Mark McGowan's like, oh, what's someone had on his Instagram today?
I wish. No way. Motherfucker. Anyway, so I wish. No, so I keep getting asked the question from people that are questioning the narrative and saying, I don't understand why everyone is just so blindly, for example, following McGowan, who has just like pulled a number out of the air over one case, locked everyone down.
Yeah, well, because so as an example, just to talk about that exact point for a moment, we had the same thing here in Queensland. It was 3 days.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It's 5. So, but if it's based on science, right? Where
are they getting the numbers from?
Well, I just think I don't.
If anyone can answer that, then let us know.
And you say what you're going to say, and I'll say what I'm going to say, because they're kind of different points.
Oh, they'll be completely different. But what I do believe, and use this to either trigger you or inspire you, but the truth is always going to piss you off before it sets you free, is that the only human psyche behavioral, because it's not about health. You're all safe. We're well. We are okay. We're on an island, isolated, where the world cannot come in. If anyone does come in, they are forced into a hotel quarantine. There are some security guards that keep fucking spreading, but whatever, right? We're safe. We are well. It's ridiculous. It's political games. It's not health. So for me, when someone then just blindly goes, yeah, McGowan, which is happening, the vast majority, well done if you're not in this camp, and I respect if you are, but are going, yeah, lock us down. Now, when I then talk to them and tell me why, I want to seek to understand your position, they're like, well, it's just 5 days, like poor me, I have to sit inside my house and watch Netflix.
It's also,
and I'm like,
that's one of the points. Yeah, it's like,
right? So I'm like,
this is what I said to you the other day. I was like, calm down, right? It's like,
no,
the Nazis aren't invading, all right? They're just got to go. They've got to sit. They've got to watch Foxtel and Netflix for 5 days.
Yes, but this is my theory on life, right? Yeah. So you're either going to be the 99% of the population that just lets life happen to them and just merrily goes by mediocrely, or you're going to be the 1% that shows up no matter what, has a mission in life and gets it done. And this is what I was saying to people. I feel like for most people that do, they don't have jobs that they love, and they're not in bodies that, they love. And so for them, it's like, 5 days, I'm going to drink, we can sleep in. It's like a holiday. You know this, but I know when we went into the lockdown nationally, I doubled down.
Yeah.
Business took off. Our health took off. Like, it was just like, okay, this is a perfect opportunity to double down and focus. So I think
this is in a unique position.
Yeah, but also several years ago, this, I was looking for trends in the market. So this is my whole thing though. I just think that, are you going to be a person, like, let 2021 be the year that no matter what happens politically, economically, physically for you, like whatever happens, you choose to be that sovereign individual with that mission, whatever it is for you, whatever it looks like, however you want that to manifest in your life. And even if a lockdown for 5 days or 3 days or 2 weeks or 6 months gets announced, or you lose someone you love, something comes along, because life is always going to happen. And this is the difference between a goal to me and a mission. You stay the course until.
Yeah.
That's what I want to get at. Like, that's the whole point for me. So yes, COVID's still around. It's a virus. It doesn't know to go to bed at 6 o'clock at night and all the things, right? And skip things on a circle on the floor. Like, it's here.
Those are control measures, but
I know, but it's here. So no matter what, it's like, my advice would be to have this mission, figure out what you want to achieve this year, make it into a mission. So maybe it's doubling your own income. Maybe it's writing the book. Maybe it's quitting your job and starting a business. Maybe it's leaving the narcissistic relationship. Whatever it is, like, that becomes your mission. It doesn't need to be this big, I'm going to change the world. That's not the mission. Like, my mission is to double my income this year. Well, that's like literally my mission.
It's great for people who have this, like, a grand narrative for their life. Like, I want to change the world, but it's a lot of people capable of changing their bed sheets and they want to go out and change the world. Do you know what I mean?
What's that change your own backyard? Yeah.
But that's the thing, right? You've got to have your shit together. So, but just
what were you going to say though? Because that's my thing. So I think people look at lockdowns as an escape from life, where they can just be lazy essentially in their homes and let this trigger you if it needs to.
I used to love it when we used to do it when we were in my party days, right? A lock-in, right? 100%. It's a 5-day lock-in. That's why all the alcohol shops go nuts.
I know.
Right?
And this is the thing, guys. If it was about health, freaking bottle-os would be shut, for goodness sake.
Yeah, I was like, I'm just going to stay at home and get pissed for 5 days. It's, you know.
Well, our lock-ins were more about drugs, but
yeah.
Agreed.
Well, look, same thing. It doesn't matter, right? Oh, we lost our cool screen.
Agreed. So the thing is, though, I just want you, if you so choose, to let 2021 be this empowered, kick-ass, no matter what year for you, where you have this bold, and it doesn't need to be big, but it should be bold mission for your life. So just take one of your goals, the one that you know that you will have to become the best version of yourself to achieve, make it your highest priority, create the mission statement. And like I said, it is not a woo thing. My mission statement is I will double my income in 2021.
Yeah.
That's my mission statement.
Yeah.
Or I will double our income. So it doesn't need to be like, I am going to have, It's like, no. What's the goal? Who do you need to become in the process? And that's going to be your mission.
Yeah.
And no matter what, no McGowan, no Palaszczuk, no Andrews, no ScoMo, no nothing is going to derail you from
Gladys. No Gladys.
Because this is kind of the kick-ass one.
Well, not really, babe. Here's the thing, right?
Well, I can go back to Sydney for Mardi Gras, so huzzah!
Yeah, but here's the thing, right? This is what gets me weirded out about people from Perth, right? And you got to remember, I lived there for 35 years.
You're born and bred, I'm not.
So I've been there. Look, to be fair, if people get on their high horse, I lived there longer than Mark McGowan has, all right?
Really?
He was born in New South Wales. He served in the army, and he moved there in like 1994. Right?
Spicy.
But it doesn't matter because where you live and where you're from doesn't
matter.
Doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. That's a terrible argument. But what I find weird is, right, and this goes for Gladys, this goes for Andrews, this goes for Palaszczuk, it goes for all of them. It's like crisis favours the incumbent, right? So when the person in charge, when there's a crisis, they kind of their approval ratings go up. And people will always say, we'll use Mark McGowan. He's like, Mark McGowan's doing such a great job of keeping us safe, right? Lock the borders, quarantine, all that sort of stuff. So if that's doing a great job and those things are working well and you praise him for that, when there's a failing, then you're also obligated to criticise him and criticise him heavily. Because if there's a failing in hotel quarantine, that's the responsibility of the government.
That you have been praising him for.
That's a failing, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And it deserves criticism. But what happens is, and we've seen this in Queensland, we've seen it in New South Wales, is the last line of defence before this virus getting out into the community is hotel quarantine, right? Correct. So when there's a failing in that and it gets into the community, people should be outraged. But what's happening is people's like, it's been a breach in hotel quarantine, lockdown. Everyone's just like,
thank God they're still keeping us safe. And this is my argument.
This is my point. I think people are missing the point. It's just lockdown. It got out. How the fuck did it get out?
Yeah.
Right. This is the things that people need to be asking and saying. It's like if you believe that, and I'm not telling you what you should or shouldn't believe, but if you believe that COVID is a really dangerous and deadly disease, then you should be absolutely furious that the government has allowed it to get out.
Yeah, 100%.
But people it's lost on people. They're just
and then it's crazy to me. Furthermore to that, to add to it, is that it's then like one case, which I understand explicitly that he was in the community for 4 days until and visited places, which is why there is contact, trace, and control. Yeah. Contact, trace, and control.
They want to give the contact tracers a chance to...
So, sure, 100%. So, but that's the thing, right? So that's what they should be following because that's their system and procedure. But instead it's like, boom, lock it down. No. You can't do that. You don't get to do that as a premier when you've had 12 months.
Well, this is the thing.
And you've been like, you're such a hero, all of them. I'm not just having to go on
This is the thing. They've had 12 months to get hotel quarantine right. They've had 12 months to get contact tracing right.
They've had 100%. So this is where when I speak up, the frustration comes from because it's like you cannot lock down 2 million people, for example, or the 6 million in Victoria, like just relentlessly because a government has failed.
Yeah.
But also you can't have a system in place. So that would be like in our business, right? I've got a system and that is what the team have to follow. They don't. But it's like if I had say I opened a whatever, like a bricks and mortar business and I had a system, so a plumbing business. And this was a system they had to follow and it was like, this is what you have to do. If you don't follow it, you'll get fired. Like, this is it. This works. Everyone needs to follow this. Everyone needs to trust this. I am the boss. This is it. And then something happened and I'm like, don't follow that system. It doesn't work. Oh, my God. We need to do something else. I'm like, bruh, it would be... you would probably get sued, fired, and lose your business.
Well, that's the thing.
And the government's just like...
That's the thing as well.
You're a hero.
It's when... And we saw this in Victoria as well. It's just a lot of politicians do this all the time. They throw their ministers and things under the bus. But when there's in military, I was reading about this in a book called Extreme Ownership, right? If there's a failing, Willink, yeah. There's like if there's a failing, right? They don't blame. Obviously, shit flows through the chain of command, but it's like everybody takes responsibility all the way to the top. And that's part of what being a great leader is. And that's not what we generally have in politics in Australia. It's just people trying to save their ass and blah, blah, blah. And that's what a lockdown is, There's been government's had a failing. Now they've got to try and cover their ass and they're going to lock everybody down and trample your civil rights. And if you're out and you don't have a mask on, you get a fine. And if you try and stand up and speak up for yourself, you get locked up.
I've been told and sent photos that as of 6 p.m. on the dot, and I was like, Nanny State, Western Australia, sadly. 6 p.m. on the dot, the cops were out patrolling on the beach and people were getting fined immediately for no masks and being outside past 6 o'clock.
Yeah, well, this is the crazy thing in Queensland.
And that's not okay, guys. Like, to me, I'm like, that's not okay. Like, you got given 4 hours notice. Yeah. If Zeusy Bear needs a walk and a shit, and I didn't get a second to go to the shops because I'm a shift worker or whatever, and I just needed to let him out and have a walk and a shit before I'm in lockdown for 5 days. And the cops were already down my back and on my back and down my neck. That's where I stand up for people because I'm like, that's just not okay.
Well, that's like when Brisbane went into lockdown. We were literally, so for those of you who don't know, we went to Moreton Island, also known as...
Put it on your list.
Also called, known as Mulgumpkin.
Mulgumpin?
All right. Okay. I'm still learning it. But they, literally on the barge, on the way over, there's a TV on the barge and there's a press conference with Anastasia Palaszczuk and literally she's announcing that the greater Brisbane area is going into lockdown, which included this remote sand island,
Moreton Island,
which is a 19-minute boat ride off the coast of Brisbane, right? It falls into that district, right? But we landed and it's like, we don't have masks.
No, so we're on the boat and the TV's on. I'm in line to get my...
They mandated masks as part of it.
My smiley face pie at 8 a.m.
Yeah.
And a champagne. And I was like, the TV was on. I've been once before and it wasn't on the last time. And I'm like, oh, that's odd. And then it was like breaking news with a Premier's like Paul Pitt. And I'm like, I'll buy it. Here we go.
Yeah.
And then it was like, Brisbane and Greater Brisbane are going into a 3-day lockdown.
Yeah.
All masks are mandated. And we're on the barge. And I'm like, go, 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 go.
Yeah, well, we were already, they weren't going to turn around. But that was the last one they did for the 3 days. They were only bringing people back off the island after that. So the island was dead quiet as well.
That's the best.
But see, some people we were camping, other people stayed at the resort and they were given masks. But no one was selling them.
But also we were outside camping on the beach in the ocean.
Yeah, but here's the thing. We're driving. So one of the people that were staying with us, the cops have 4-wheel drives. There's no sealed roads, right? It's all sand dirt track, right? Just obviously but these guys weren't there, right? If they haven't been. But someone who was staying with us, when the morning just went for a walk down the beach. There's not a person around.
Yeah, literally, like
for
kilometers.
And the cops drove past, right? They got there in their car, they got masks on. They're pointing at the Facebook mask. I was like, mate, there's fucking no one here.
But also, this is a hilarious thing for me. You didn't have to wear. Masks were mandated inside, not outside. Yes, correct. Masks were mandated inside, not even outside. And so we're walking on the beach and it was getting in trouble.
Yeah. But here's the thing.
Hilarity
at the same time, you had to wear a mask in the car by yourself.
Yeah. The world's gone a little bit. I did also get schooled by that lady in line who was
wearing a mask.
Obese.
She's like, why aren't you wearing a mask?
With a mask on.
Yeah, so this is the thing.
With obese children who turned around and was like, where's your mask? And I said, not here.
We're literally standing outside the general store and they don't sell them.
They don't sell them. I'm on an island and I literally, and it does matter. Like I'm not
I'm not taking a shit.
I'm not taking.
You and I have a differing opinion about masks and
yes.
all that sort of stuff.
Well, no, I was going to say I'm not being mean towards obese people, but the fact of the matter she was obese, and COVID does affect people with comorbidities, right. One of which is obesity.
Yeah.
And there I am in my bikini waiting to go to the toilet, and like we'd just been at the champagne pools, I think. Like we'd been outside basically all day. We're camping outside on an island remotely. And she turned around and she's from obviously was at Tangalooma because they had the resort mask.
Yeah.
She was like, oh, where's your mask? And I said, oh, look, we're camping. And she's like, well, but where's your mask? I said, lady, we came across on the last barge, like da-da-da, and she wouldn't let it go. And I said, well, actually, and I sort of pointed at my body and I said, well, this is health to me. Like fitness and health and healthy eating and water and hydration and vitamin D, like that's health to me.
Yeah.
And then Mogsy walked past her husband and they were very upset at me. But I was like, I'm not going to stand here and school you, so please don't turn around and school me when I'm on an island with no... And we didn't have to wear them outside. That was the thing that blew my mind.
And that's the thing. I think it doesn't matter really what I think, but I tend to err a bit more on the side of caution with the whole masks and social distancing thing.
You're way better than me.
I think it's an easy thing to do, and I'm not really averse to doing it. Sorry, that was... a reminder to put my bike in for service this afternoon.
Oh, excellent. We differ there.
I think, for me personally, I think it's kind of bullshit, but I'm happy to do it because I think it's kind of the neighbourly thing to do, right? It's if I had it and I didn't know and I gave it to someone and they got sick and died from it, I'd feel pretty awful, right?
Yeah, so just don't hang out around like elderly homes or cancer wards.
Yeah, I don't, babe, but that doesn't matter, right? That's not to say that I'm going to give it to someone who gives it to someone, right? For me, I don't see it as being a big issue. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
I'm okay to participate
we differ.
to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Like there's some things that where I get annoyed is there's no consistency, there's no clarity, it feels like they're just making it up on the fly.
They are. That's
and it's
my
like
problem.
the whole thing about you have to wear one in a car by yourself, or when you're walking down the beach on a sand island 100 kilometres from the Brisbane CBD.
Yeah.
With literally an ocean between.
But then this is where I come in and go, this is why I just hold my position that I hold, because I'm not like, well, I don't like to get into the semantics of it. I'm like, well, no, my position is my position. And to me, when all the science in the beginning, like Fauci and all the World Health Organization were coming on the television laughing at people, calling them basically idiots, like, stop wearing masks. If you're not unwell, you're ridiculous. You look ridiculous. You shouldn't do it. To the backflip of now they're saying anal swabs and triple masking. I'm not kidding.
Anal swabs?
Anal swabs in China. It's like anal swabs for COVID now and triple masking.
Sounds like someone Chinese.
You can't make this up.
I haven't heard anything about anal swabbing.
Oh, you're going to have a delightful time researching this now.
I'm going to have to check it out when I get off.
But by all means, Google, guys. But this is my point. I'm like, hold the position. Like, yeah, I'm just like, I hold my position. I just like to look into things, question things, not accept the narrative and go, oh, well, it's an enabling thing. I'm like, but not killing people, exactly, right? And I don't kill people. So
and I do find, just back on the WA thing, I do find it interesting. I'm not saying this is a conspiracy theory or anything like that, but there is an election coming up.
Oh, 100%.
And what we've seen in the last 12 months is that people love a good lockdown. Like, when the lockdown happens, politicians' approval ratings go up.
Guys.
But again, the guy I didn't mean for this to turn into a political podcast, but like this episode
totally has.
Like the guy in WA, I can't remember his name. That's how unmemorable.
Zach
he is.
Kirker.
That's him. He's just the sacrificial lamb because they know they're going to get absolutely trounced.
He's a liberal.
So, yeah.
He's my age. I came up with him in politics.
I probably wouldn't have voted for him. I probably would if I was living in WA.
I don't know.
I would probably have voted for an independent.
Yeah, well, that's what my old boss, DJ, is saying that. He's like, vote for independence in the West Australian election coming up in March. So get out there and I just am like, go research who you love. Look at policies, look at character, but look at policies. This totally turned political. Of course it did. Know your mission.
Yeah. The point is, I think as well, like if you've got goals and things you want to achieve for it, don't let any of these assholes who are in seats, positions of power dictate to you how, if don't let them affect your pursuit of what's going to make you happy.
100%.
And the things you want to accomplish and the goals you want to achieve, because there's always going to be some asshole in Canberra or in West Australian Parliament or whatever or
in your own state's parliament.
or in the local council that's going to do things that's going to get in the way. So you've just got to have a think about how much you want this and how much you want to achieve it. And the people that think, and at least the people that I've met that think that way, they don't let anything stop them and get in the way of accomplishing what they want.
100%. And that's like, it's just so crazy that here we are, first episode back. It is about knowing your mission, know your highest priority, know who you need to become. But ultimately, less than 24 hours ago, I mean, Perth hasn't had a community transmission for 10 months. And
Perth has not had any community transmission.
That's what I said,
ever.
zero.
Ever.
Oh, yeah, so ever. So in 10
Ever.
months. So never, ever.
So I don't know if does this count as community transmission?
It is. Yeah.
It is? Okay.
Yeah, it's community transmission.
What
So,
is it? Yeah.
so, and then boom, 5-day lockdown, which is just like a made up number, and they're just, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But the point is, and I refuse to buy into the narrative of like the COVID normal, that sentence makes me vomit, but understand that as an individual wanting to have any level of success in any area of your life, you need to focus on that sovereignty this year. And you need to, exactly what we've just been talking about, like know the goal, know that mission. It's more than a goal. Know your mission. Focus on that one main thing. Don't get distracted by anything and everything else. Turn off the news. That's my biggest thing. Turn off the fucking news. And just focus on who you need to become.
Sorry, I didn't interrupt you. But when you're locked down,
Baby,
sit at home.
I did not once watch that damn news when we're in 3-month lockdown. No.
You never
Your
watched,
eyes.
You never watched a single press conference.
I watched the presses, but I would watch it on their Facebooks. I wouldn't, unless Andrews on a Sunday, I remember
but
sometimes
the
putting it
medium is irrelevant. It's
still
news.
Press conferences, I would watch out of their own mouths. But
Yeah.
I quickly actually.
I don't watch Current Affair. We don't watch Current Affair.
No, but also like I got told that, and he may be this Perth guy, like the security guard. This was what the media reporting, like as of last night. It is the UK strain, and he's also an Uber driver. False. At the moment, that's actually not confirmed. So it's absolutely not at all confirmed. Still, the recording of time of this podcast that it is the UK strain. It's not actually confirmed. It's suspected.
To be fair, in the scale of things,
and they have to.
It's kind of irrelevant.
No, it absolutely
no.
No.
And I would dare say that if in hotel quarantine, it's probably a returned traveller from the UK.
But it's also it's a potential South African too. So it's like it's all these things. But my point is all the like angry messages I've received, their argument has been based off of those two things. Or he's an Uber driver, false. Yeah. I think that's actually just literally a lie that got made up by the public because it's like, he's an Uber driver.
Well, he may well be, but has he been driving?
But has he actually been driving? So there was that. And then the second thing was, it's the UK strain. And it's a super killer. Well, actually, that's false.
It's no more lethal than the current one. It just spreads faster.
Exactly.
So
this is why I might turn off the news.
No, turn off the news because they're all a bunch of wankers anyway. But it's one of those things I think where it's like if the government doesn't do anything, they haven't done enough. If they do something, they've done too much.
But this is our job. Actually, I know we're trying to wrap it up, but like this is what I was saying to people. This is like my position because people keep saying, and with love, like some people say it angrily and some people say it with love, and I respect it coming from both people. But well, what would you do? Well, guys, I'm not the fucking premier.
Pay me $500,000. I'll throw some ideas out there.
give me access to every other president and prime minister in the world, which you do as like premier and prime minister. Yeah. Give me access to millions of dollars. Give me access to the brightest minds. Give me access to all the science and literature before we get it as the public. Give me access to the world epidemiologists, anyone at my fingertips. Give me access to all of that and $500,000 and the responsibility to have this as my job. Sure, I would give you an answer. But my job, hang on, and this is the main thing, and this is what you were saying. My job as a voter is to hold governments accountable. Yeah. That is our literal civil right.
And then that's the point I was making about these continued failings that keep happening in hotel quarantine.
So people that are like, well, what would you do? Well, I'm doing exactly what I should be doing, which is asking questions and questioning the narrative and saying, well, hang on, I'm just not sure. So McGowan, why 5 days? Palaszczuk, why 3 days? Yeah. Well, hang on, why don't you trust your connect, trace, and contain? Yeah. Like if that's the system, why aren't you trusting it? Like I'm doing my job by actually questioning the narrative instead of just being like, yes sir, no sir, 3 bags.
Yeah, I get that as well. And
so that's why I just want you to understand that if you're listening, like don't be scared. Like your job as a voter is to question the government.
I'd love to get an epidemiologist on.
We'll get one.
I'd love to get one.
We'll get one. I'll get one.
And just to just to have it
You
explained.
know who? So apparently last night, so my brother called me, Timo, and how Australian, and he called because he was so confused because he said sis, they've just locked us down, rah, rah. And he was like, but the head epidemiologist from Fiona Stanley Hospital just called into the radio and off the cuff and off the record, like he made it very explicitly clear that he was not represented Fiona Stanley, like his views were his and his alone. Yeah. But the lockdown was bullshit. The epidemiologist said there's just nothing that McGowan could present to him to substantiate and warrant a 5-day lockdown based off of one case when they don't know this, that and the other. And no epidemiologists were consulted, which is who you should be when it's about a virus. So anyway, so if people are coming at you, if you're someone that's like, especially in Perth, because I know like they are the spiciest, but they just are.
Well, that's what I spoke about it to you about off the air. It is kind of a thing. When you live in WA, you kind of think everybody else in Australia are a bunch of assholes.
I said to Morgs, I was raised in Victoria, so
exactly.
I'm like, I never had this belief.
Yeah, because you were never.
And then I worked in Canberra,
you're not pure.
I'm not of pure West Australian blood.
We don't tell you these things.
Yeah.
I don't tell you these things, but again, so that's part of the mentality of Perth as well. It's like, you think WA is just the shit. It's better than every other state, and
but I will say, Western Australia, if you're listening. I raged against Victoria for Victorians and like against the government. I asked questions of the government and like provided education and empowerment just through questions and facts, just sharing their own rhetoric for 6 months. Right? And I copped a lot of criticism and the hate and rah, sure.
So how dare you have an opinion?
How dare you question the government? I've shared for less than, what has it been? 12 hours really in terms of being connected, and I would have had more criticism and unfollows and fuck yous from West Australians than 6 months in Victoria.
Yeah.
That's the level, just so you will understand the level of, I don't know, like just anger and blind complacency and just like trust in your government that it's like, no, we're safe. I just offer to you that
I don't think any politician deserves overwhelming praise ever.
Our job, you guys have to understand, like our job is to question them. It's not to praise them, when and if they really do genuinely do a good job, but then not to hold them, like not to base future decisions off past choices, like past successes or failures. Like you take them at their word every day, for example, and you judge them with what they're doing in every moment. Yeah. But the point is we are governed by them, right? So to wrap it in the bow.
Why am I wrapping
have a mission.
Yeah, I was like, man, don't let any of this. I know it turned sort of political in the end, but.
No, and this is a point,
right?
It's going to be politics.
This podcast could go, we haven't done one for a month, so it could go for a bloody 4 hours. But I just think, look, for me personally, it's like, lockdown or no lockdown or, a Liberal Labor government or independent or whatever, it's, I'm not going to let it stop me doing what I want to accomplish this year, but having said that as well, I'm not going to do anything to put anyone else's health in jeopardy. I'm just going to focus on doing what I need to do.
Exactly. I'm laughing because I'm like, yes, honey, running half a marathon would not jeopardize someone.
Yeah, but if there's an outbreak, I'm not going to, and you got to wear a mask when you go down the shops. I got no problems doing that.
Sure.
But hey, you do what you want to do.
100%.
You do what you want to do. Don't worry about what Morgan Riches is doing.
Yeah. I won't.
Yeah. But yeah, look, guys, this is the first one back. We just wanted to blow the cobwebs out a bit. And because it's been a month. I was kind of like setting this stuff up and I'm like, whoa, how does this all work again? So
yeah. But we're back. And guys, let us know. Like if I would talk politics literally weekly. We would sit and have these discussions. Yeah. But I actually pull back from them and I say to Morgs no all the time because I'm like, people don't want to hear it or it's not value. Like I'm kind of protective and I'm the negative. Like I'm like, no, we have to like get on and give value. But if you like these kind of conversations and want us to kind of have more of them, or you're like, if something big is happening in the world, like sit and have the banter, tag us, let us know, say yes, like share it and be like, I loved this episode because, like there's some truths that were dropped or whatever. That's feedback for us, or leave a review because it's that we read them all. So it's feedback for us to go, okay, awesome. That's what they're like. So this is your podcast. This is not our podcast. This is your podcast if you're listening.
And if you are listening and you know someone like that you think would be good for us to talk to, like if you know an epidemiologist, they've got to be a proper one.
Yeah.
Like, someone who's actually working in the field currently. or maybe
we really as well want to speak to someone that's like like that's like deeply in the science of vaccines.
Yeah, I'd love to.
On both sides. We want to have a discussion on both sides.
Yeah.
Which is cool because we just want...
You're not going to find someone who's deeply in the science on the anti-side, babe.
I will. Someone will listen to that and like message around.
No, that's why they've switched now. They've stopped debating science. They're talking... Medical freedoms is what it is now.
Yeah, but
is a better argument.
Did you actually know that the whatever CDC, whoever regulates it, it used to be like vaccines do not cause autism, and they've had to change it, and it's like autism and vaccines.
I saw that. It's been debunked. We'll talk about it off
air.
It's been totally debunked.
We're coming. We'll come back. So, but we love you guys. This really is your podcast. So anything goes. Let us know what you want to hear. Even if you're like, oh my God, you guys need to talk more about sex or whatever. I will. So let us know. We're back. We love you. We can't wait to have these conversations with you twice weekly. And until next time, have the most beautiful week ever.
Ciao. Thanks so much for listening. And as always, we both hope you got something out of it that you can use to challenge your own status quo.
And if you liked what you heard, it would mean so much to us if you shared this episode on your socials to help us get our podcast out in the world. Don't forget to tag us as well so we can thank you personally.
And if you're loving the conversations, leaving a review on iTunes simply by going to the podcast, scrolling down and clicking leave review will help even more people find us too. And we would be so grateful.
And until the next episode, we will always be cheering on your success.